the time has come, the walrus said.
The time has finally come. Listen to our tale of the Bionicle. I'm so excited to be getting to this just because I'm such a huge Bionicle fan. This is one of my favorite Bionicle things there is in terms of games and comics and movies and everything. So this, ladies and gentlemen, for those who aren't familiar with Bionicle, because I do want to try to introduce franchises and characters to my audience. For those who aren't familiar, Bionicle is a series released by LEGO in the early 2000s, all focused around these mechanical figures you could build, which I have a lot of them right here. I might as well go grab some right now just to show you guys. But yeah, these are some of my favorite characters. And actually, you know what? I'll just grab all the main, like, Toa characters, and then as they appear in the game, that's when I'll show them to you, like the actual figure, and show how they function as a toy, because the toys are an important aspect. They're the main, thing in Bionicle. That's what they were sold as LEGO toys. But this wasn't the first Bionicle game. The first Bionicle game, I believe, was Tales of the Tahunga for the Game Boy Advance, which is a game I decided not to play for a few reasons. One of the main ones being I've never beaten it. I don't really care much for the gameplay, but I'll probably get around to it at some point. So we start the game off. This is the Motunui Online game. This was on the LEGO website, the Bionicle page. This is a game you could play. It was released in episodes as just little bits you could play. Here it is full, available on biomediaproject.com, although because it runs on Flash, it won't be available forever, so I do recommend checking it out now while you can. There is a downloadable version which might be able to run without Flash, so I don't think the game will be gone, but I definitely want to get around to it now, since seeing as how Flash is going away. But yeah, this is how we start out the game. We start on this beach. And the thing that's great about this game is it can really introduce you to the world of Bionicle without knowing anything about it. So I can just sit here and tell you the whole story, tell you about how the six Toa live and everything, but instead I'm just going to let the game show rather than tell. And that's something this game is very good at. It's a simple point-and-click adventure, first person. We can look around left and right, and when our cursor goes over to the very far side of the screen, this turnaround option shows so we can look behind us. Nothing important over here, just a neat little statue. And you'll notice the cursor goes from just a standard pointer to, like, click on this. That's how you know you gotta click on the right thing. I wish I could have decorated my cursor in some way, but we just got the standard Mac one. Now, there's a few things that immediately will pique the interest of a new player. We got this canister with footprints leading away from it. We got a character talking to us over there, which is interesting, because there's no other characters out here. But instead, we're gonna go way up onto that mountaintop up there. We're gonna ignore that character right there. So over here, we get this animation, and this showcases the story of Bionicle without saying anything. So I'm just going to let the animation play. I'm going to do this at a lot of points, just to so you guys can experience it yourselves. So, that's that. The animation may seem a little confusing to those who don't know anything about Bionicle, but essentially what it's summing up is that this big, gray stone thing, that's Motunui, or at least a representation of him. He's this great spirit who created the people, or the Matoran as they're called, which is the little clumps of rock surrounding him. And his brother Makuta, which is this dark evil rock, came down and was jealous of that, so he used his own creatures to put Motunui to sleep and to attack the Matoran. But then, from the heavens descend 6 new heroes who were said to defeat the Makuta and all his minions. And that's essentially the basic story, is that there's a bad guy, and there's 6 Toa who are going to rescue our happy little village here, which this is the island of Matanui, named after the great spirit himself. The only other thing up on this mountain, aside from that bit of exposition, is this telescope. You can look into the sky here, very nice. And you can actually look at some of these tablets here to get ideas. These red stars, based on where they're formed, they still tell us different prophecies that will happen. It's a way of figuring out how things will eventually go down. The people here on Matanui use prophecies to tell the future, and they use the stars to do that. The red star being an important one, and they're discerning that. The atmosphere in this area is very good. I've made this a point. I'm not wearing the hat in this Let's Play, even though I usually do in most Let's Plays, but I'm wearing headphones because the audio in this game is very important. I mean, it's a point-and-click adventure, so of course gameplay isn't going to be a massive point, and of course, you know, it's a game from 2001, so graphics aren't going to be a massive point either. So the most important points in this game are its visual storytelling and the audio design, which in some points is absolutely incredible. Now this little Matoran here, these are the people of Matanui, by the way, those little rocks surrounding the big rock in that whole cutscene. They're in distress, they're calling for us, but we're just going to ignore them. Here we have the canister, and this is the first thing most people do when they load this game up. They see this canister and they see these footprints and they're like, I gotta go see where this leads. I gotta see where this leads. The footprints lead to this volcano kind of area, this very hot and ashy place. As we approach, there's a figure there, so we click on him. See you later, I guess. So that, like I said at the beginning of this game was originally released in episodes. I believe that is where the first episode ended, but basically you just got a little sneak peek into this character here. This is Toa Tahu, and using the gear on the back, you can move this arm up and down, but that's about all he can do. But, yeah, he's the Toa of Fire, and we basically just get a sneak peek as to who he is. Leads over here. This is one of the villages in the forest surrounding it. Let's head to the forest first. It's rather ominous. Let's go ahead and in. So I mentioned how audio is important. There you go. This whole forest is very ominous. Oh, but hello there, young sir. Finally get to meet to someone. Or meet someone, not meet to someone. I don't know what I'm saying. I am Capoeira. Are you the Makuta? I am practicing. What is the Makuta, Mr. Capoeira? If you don't know what the Makuta is, then I guess you are not it. That is good. Jolla says I have to be careful of the Makuta when I am in the forest. He says the Makuta is everywhere. He means Rahi, monsters, things you can see. But I know the Makuta is here now, in these burnt trees, and the dead soil. All of these things were destroyed by the Makuta, but the Makuta never left them. That's how he becomes strong. That is what the Makuta does. He destroys things. I think the forest looks very beautiful this way too. And when it burned, you could see all the fires perform the great Takara all the way to the sea. It was very beautiful. So we've kind of been told already, but where am I? We'll just ask, why not? You are where you are. If I practice, I can be where I am not. I think I can feel it. It is hot where I am, but where I am not is cold. And I think I can feel it. I must practice more. The island has many places to visit. I want to see all of them. But the others do not like to travel. Matanui is very big. Fakama says that in the beginning of time, Matanui fell from the sky and landed here. The Makuta came after him and made him fall asleep, and sent his monsters out across the world to control it, and destroy its beautiful things, and to make the Tohunga his slaves. Tohunga is the old word for Matoran. I mean, I could just go on calling them Tohunga because that's what they're called here, that's what they're called in the Game Boy Advance Bionicle game, but Bionicle went for 10 years, and every year after this point, which is like the first year, they're called Matoran, so I'm very much familiar with them as Matoran. Vakama has told us to wait for more creatures to fall from the sky who will save us. I think one of them landed on the beach. I saw it when I was practicing before. Vakama knows more. You should ask him. He lives in Takoro. Goodbye. Goodbye. So, rather colorful individual here. He's not animated well, but like I said, the game's released in episodes, which took time to develop throughout, so the animation gets better, don't worry. But Capoeira here is a rather quiet figure out here, practicing in these black woods, and he gives us a bit more context as to what the Makuta is and how he got here, which is nice, because I explained it to you guys, but if you don't want to watch my Let's Play, you just want to play the game for yourself, which I do recommend doing, you can get it right there. You can get the explanation there, that is. Let's head into the town, which Capoeira told us the name. This is Takoro. Have some guards here. You may pass. Alright, cool. Let's head on inside. Hello there. So, this here is Jolla. Now, Jolla has a voice in the first Bionicle movie, but I'm not a big fan of it. No disrespect to the voice actor himself. I just imagine Jolla as... he's the captain, is the context here. He's in charge of a lot of the soldiers here in Takoro, so I imagine him having a more gruff, like, in-charge voice. We've lost communications with Takoro, but I have no Tohunga to spare for a reconnaissance unit. There's never enough good warriors to send against the Rahi. You look stout, traveler. You should consider a career in the guard. So we know this is Jolla. Capoeira told us about him. He is the captain of the guard. Like he says here, it's my job to protect the city against the Rahi. I knew they were getting stronger, but no one in the city believed me, until the beasts overran the Trencrom redoubt. I lost a lot of good warriors that day. Then Tahu arrived, and now we know why the Rahi are on the move. Vakama says he'll save us, but I don't see the point in putting all our hope in him. You can never have too much security. Takoro, we know that's the town, Capoeira told us. What is a Rahi? The Rahi serve the Makuta. They're horrible beasts, ruthless and fierce. Some can fly, others walk. Some, I've heard, even tunnel beneath the ground. We've battled many of them. In recent times, they have become bolder and forced us back here. Takoro used to reach all the way to the coast. The charred jungle used to be a green, peaceful place, but in the fury of our battle it was burnt. But we are Takoro Tohunga, and we will not surrender. And now Tahu, the great fire spirit, has come to lead us against them. They can attack at any time, although always when it is least expected. That is why we must always be on guard. I have studied them extensively. It is possible that they were once normal creatures, like the other inhabitant Matanui, until the Makuta turned them, although I am not certain of this. If it is true, there may be another way to fight them. Until then, we must patrol our stockades and our trenches day and night, and keep the guard fires burning. Alright, well I'll see you later, Jolla. Nice to meet you. May Tahu protect you, traveler. Thanks, man. We needed to come over here so we could lower the bridge and allow us to get to Takoro. It's actually currently separated from us by a giant pool of lava. Let's head into Takoro, and a lot of these people, Capoeira, Jolla, they've been telling us about both Tahu as well as Vakama. Vakama is just over here. Let's go ahead and say hello. Hey, Vakama. Now this guy, he may look a bit different to the standard Tohunga or Matoran. That's because he is a Turaga, the one in charge of the village. Nice to meet you, Vakama. So, you have found your way back after all. You are brave. I do not know what brought you to this city, but you should take care. There are some who remember you. The temper of the Takoro Tohunga boils as swiftly as the great Mangai in whose shadow we live. But in this our first hour of hope, you may find the village's patience to be greater than usual. Yes, there is hope in Takoro. Tahu is here. It was Captain Jolla who found him. He caught him in a trap intended for Arahi. It was almost the end of my It was almost the end of my brave captain and his famous guard. So now we're seeing a flashback scene, which is kind of odd. We don't see a lot of these in the game overall, but this is a scene of Jolla finding Tahu, and this is really our kind of proper introduction to Tahu as a Toa. Capoeira, why? I like the little shrug that one gives. And there's Capoeira in the back. Suddenly, the encounter is stopped by Vakama himself. The people are elated, but I know that their courage will be tested now more than ever. Tahu's arrival marks the first step in a great struggle, and I have much to do. Alright, so we can talk to Vakama now, but first I'd just like to go into a bit more depth in that whole cutscene. So basically in that, we were seeing a bit more as to what it means to be the Toa. You tower over all the Matoran and the Turaga, and you have this special weapon that has elemental abilities. Tahu there is the Toa of Fire, which is why he was able to light his flame sword on fire and slash through the trap. And all the Toa have their own special element and abilities. Also, all the Toa have masks which give them powers, although that isn't delved too deep into. In fact, I don't even remember what Tahu's mask power is. That's kind of impressive. I know what a lot of the other Toas are, but... Anyway, let's go ahead and talk to Vakama now. So who's Tahu exactly? He will save us. He has come from the heavens as foretold in ancient legends of our city, to battle the Makuta with a sword of fire and release us from tyranny. He is a great hero, and will struggle against the Rahi of the Makuta, and face great dangers. The legends prophesy 6 heroes descend from the heavens to Matanui, and of them Tahu is the fiercest. But his passage to Matanui has left him uncertain. He has needed help to understand his long-awaited quest. I have told Tahu all I know of the legends of Matanui, and of the masks of power. I have done all I can. Now it is up to him to adventure into the wilderness and find a way to defeat the Makuta. So it is kind of a unique experience. A lot of Bionicle games, like the eventual Bionicle movie-based game on console, as well as the cancelled Bionicle something quest from Matanui. No, that's the new one. But the new fan game coming out, as well as the original cancelled game, those all have you playing as the Toa, going on adventures, playing as them, doing combat stuff. This is meant to be more of an experience exploring Matanui and meeting the characters, which is why we're playing as just another Tahunga. But who exactly are we? Let's just ask Vakama who we are now. This is hardly the time for jokes. Have you forgotten all your great deeds, and also the thing that drove you away from us? So apparently, we no longer have any recollection of who we are, not just because the character we're playing has lost his memory, that's part of it too, but also because we as the player don't know who we are, which is a neat kind of storytelling device. We know who Vakama is, let's just say goodbye. Forgive me, I have much work to do. I am preparing for the arrival of another. I am not certain, but the stars have revealed a new prophecy, which I do not yet fully understand. Well, we can always look at the stars through that telescope and try to understand prophecies, but right now that doesn't concern us. Hey there, you with the lava surfboard, how you doing? Hey, here's that lava surfboard you asked me to hang on to. It doesn't look like it, but he actually gave it to us. We actually don't have an inventory right now. We have to get that first, but we do have it technically. Once we get our inventory backpack, then that will be with us, so don't worry. There's really nothing else to do in Takoro here. Over here is an entrance to a completely a different town, but we're not going to go there just yet. Instead, we're going to go and see that girl who is on the beach waving at us.